What's up, guys? We're going to go over a little thing with gas and bloating. This thing constantly comes up with my clients and who have questions, and bodybuilders complaining of gassing, bloating. And a lot of the culprits are in our own food that we eat every day. We don't even realize. So I'm going to go over a lot of the culprits and what are some things you can do alternative-wise. All right. First off, when anybody ever comes to me and they're like, "Oh man, I've been very bloated, very gassy all the time," most people always assume, "Oh, it's protein farts, protein farts." No, probably not. A lot of the spices that we all buy, the first ingredients are garlic and onion, which are the biggest causes of gas and bloating. Especially when someone diets. When they start to diet, they tend to kind of go more and more overboard with spices and different things, and then when they realize it, and all of a sudden they start getting more backed up, more bloated. Other things people do is when they start dieting for a show, they start eating more and more vegetables to fill that void of being hungry. Well, now you're pushing more and more of the tough digest skins of the vegetables into the body when you don't have a lot of excess fat coming through, making the stool slippery and being able to go on a regular basis, which can cause constipation. So one of the first things you should do if you are constipated and you are on a calorie reduced diet, whether you're dieting or just going through a preparation for a show, make sure your vegetable intake is not steadily increasing as week goes on, because people start to the salad like this, ends like this. People start with a couple pieces of broccoli or no broccoli in the off season, and all of a sudden it's a bowl. But those are the big culprits. When you're looking for spices, here we have the most common spices. You got Mrs. Dash, which usually garlic and onion are all in the first ingredients. Flavor Gods got garlic and onion in the first two ingredients. Now, none of these spices are bad. If you tolerate them and you're not having gas, great, keep them. But if you are, some alternatives you can do is Stubbs. Not all their spices, but most of them have garlic or onion in the third or fourth ingredient, and it's much more tolerable. Especially for me, I have ulcerative colitis, so having those spices in my diet on a regular basis never give me issues even during prep. The second I do one of these things, man, I'll be farting, bloated, my stomach feels like it's pregnant. Can't do them. Next thing, we're talking about vegetables. Everybody consumes tons of broccoli. I would say bodybuilding wise, well, some bodybuilders don't eat any vegetables, but we're not going to go there. But for those ones who do, most commonly people eat broccoli or cauliflower or Brussels sprouts. These are the biggest culprits in gas and bloating. The biggest. Not to mention Brussels sprouts have quite a bit of carbohydrates in them. Again, is it a lot of fiber? Yes. Is it energy yielding? No. Is it going to prevent you from losing weight? No. But it might make you uncomfortable. It might make your significant other sick of smelling your farts all the time and your gas. So these are ones that you might want to limit if you're having the problems, or get rid of them completely. If you're going through a particular time of bloatingness and gas, drop one thing out at a time. Because if you drop everything out, you don't know which one was what. First thing I would do is drop out the vegetables and replace with something else less gas forming in the intestinal tract. The next most tolerable vegetables tend to be these. Asparagus and green beans. Green beans and asparagus can still cause you gas. A lot of vegetables can. The skin of these vegetables are very hard to break down in the body, especially if they're raw. So what you do want to do is, if you do want to enhance your digestibility of these vegetables, overcook them. People say, "Oh, if you overcook them, you might lose some vitamins and minerals or damage them." Yes and no. If you're boiling them and you overcook them, yes, you lose B and C vitamins. If you're steaming them and you overcook them, not as much. Okay? But either way, it's splitting hairs, because I'm sure most of you guys have a multivitamin or another supplement on top of what you already intake for vegetables, so that takes care of that. Let's think about more about digestibility of these. All right? So overcook them until they're very soft. It helps break apart the skin, ease the intestinal tract. It might reduce the bloating, the gas. We have yellow squash and we have spinach. Again, these can cause issues, but it's getting less and less down the spectrum, and we're moving into the most tolerable vegetables. Things like carrots are completely non-gas forming. A lot of people avoid carrots because of the sugar content, but carrots are good for you. It's not like you're eating 5 cups of carrots a day, so a half cup of carrots is not going to be a big deal, and plus very high in beta carotene. But spinach and squash are the next most tolerable ones. So moving down the list, hopefully you can find ones that you like. If you're obsessed with broccoli and Brussels sprouts all the time, you can revert back to another vegetable that you might like. And the next is zucchini and romaine lettuce. Romaine lettuce, dark leafy greens, excluding spinach, are the most tolerable. They're not as gas forming. You still, again, if you have problems digesting vegetables, you know, the skin, sometimes people can peel the skin off the zucchini before they cook it. Then you cook it and it's very easy digestible. It's not going to be gas forming. It's probably going to be the most tolerable one if you have a sensitive GI tract. The pain in the butt part is having to prepare and cut and skin them every time you want vegetables. You're having issues with distension, bloating, gas, you're not really hungry, your girlfriend's complaining that you stink all the time, maybe drop out the cruciferous vegetables first. Next, I would drop out garlic and onion and the spices. A lot of people go overboard on garlic powder and maybe use less spices, or cut spices out completely and use like fresh herbs like basil or cilantro. That's always a great way to go. And then I would move to green beans and asparagus. And then if that doesn't work, or you want to go right down the list, you can go all the way down to romaine lettuce and zucchini as being the least gas forming, spinach and yellow squash. But these are the common mistakes that people have that they're just, it's so easy to fix. You can get in there, you can fix it yourself. I hope this is not too redundant, a lot of you guys know, but sometimes the simplest things that people miss in videos, or what people talk about, it's right here. Very simple. Nobody wants to walk around and feel that way. But it's one of those things I'll probably say 1 in 3 clients has an issue with it, what I have, and they're always like, oh, I'm gassing and bloating, and all of a sudden they're using a garlic powder whole thing every day, or they're eating broccoli and cruciferous vegetables in every meal. Well, there you go. But that's it for vegetables and spices today, and talk to you guys next time.